Hey guys. All right, it's already time to do the review. So it should be 420. Okay. And if we're on track, which I'll be editing this video, if we are not on track, your summative date is the 22nd through the 24th. So basically, you get one attempt, okay? You have 120 minutes, there's 12 questions, but it is a different format. There's a lot of process questions. So things I would normally see in your work, I'm just breaking them into little chunks for you to answer, okay? It should not take you 120 minutes. I would be very surprised. But if you get interrupted, you can get back in as long as it's within that 120 minute window, okay? Use your notes. Do what you can, okay? It should lock down your browser. And so I don't know what to say. I don't really like online testing, but do what you can do, okay? So you'll have any time between those 3 days you can choose to do that test, okay? Please email me if you have questions about that test, like right now. Okay, moving on. Down to the review. So, if you're good at some of these, you can go ahead and just fast forward, okay? This is not chapter 8. Yeah, all right. So it says, use the given trigonometric ratio to determine whether angle A, B, or neither is theta, okay? So I'm gonna write out SOHCAHTOA so I don't forget. Okay. In this case, we've got the 7 is on top. So in tangent, remember, opposite over adjacent. Okay, so this should be our opposite, and this should be our adjacent. That's really trash. This should be our opposite, and this should be our adjacent. Okay, so if 7 is opposite angle B. And then just to double check, 24 is adjacent. Okay, so 7 is opposite B and 24 is adjacent. So it's angle B that they're referring to. Okay. Next, cosine. Well, let's just do the tangent ones. We'll just do them all. Okay. What about if we're talking about tangent of theta where 24 is on top? So opposite is the 24 and adjacent is the 7. So A is opposite the 24 and 7 is adjacent. So that is angle A. Okay. And I've taken care of the tangents. Should we do sine next? So sine is going to be opposite of hypotenuse. Okay. So for number 3, opposite, the 7 is angle B. 24 is not the hypotenuse. Nope. 25 is always going to be the hypotenuse, no matter what. So this is neither, because it doesn't work. Okay. How about here? Oh, here it looks like it's just been fixed. The hypotenuse is 25. So it's got to be opposite was the 7. It's got to be angle B. Okay. Next, I'm going to look at number 8. I'm going to pause and try that one and then unpause and check your answer. Okay, so opposite hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is correct. It's the 25. 24 is opposite angle. Hey, bam. All right, now cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 25, so it's all good. And adjacent, 7 is adjacent to angle A. Okay. 24 over 25, I'm looking at number 5. Adjacent, oops, so I have my eraser on. Adjacent is next to B, hypotenuse 25. And this one, you see the problem? That's not the hypotenuse. So this is neither as well. Okay, sorry, just like looking at the top of my head a lot. Okay, moving forward. Solve all missing sides and angles. We're not going to do, well, I suppose we're going to do them all by looking over here. So there's a bunch of strategies to finding these. Let's just go ahead and start with what we got. So if 52 is our reference angle, okay, this is the hypotenuse. So let's use sine. Okay, sine is opposite, so I'd be finding DE. Okay, so sine of 52 degrees is equal to the opposite. So I'm just going to write DE instead of X, so we have a lot of stuff to solve, over 22. And in this case, I'm going to multiply 22 times sine of 52 because my variables in the numerator. Okay, if we go back to those 7 notes, we can look at those steps and we wrote little rules. Okay, so in my calculator, remember to make sure you're in degrees. 22 times sine 52. 17, well, it says to the nearest hundredths, so 17.34. Okay, switch up my color. So you could, at this point, you could do Pythagorean theorem if you're more comfortable with that to get EF. That, in my opinion, takes longer. So I'm going to do cosine now. Okay. I know that in this case, the numerator is going to be the adjacent. So cosine of 52 degrees equals EF over 22. So I'm going to multiply those. Okay. That goes away. That way I don't have to rewrite it all. Okay. 22 cosine of 52 degrees. So the side length is 13.54. Okay. And the other angle measure, remember that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to add up the 90 and the 52 and then subtract it from 180. I'm writing out the work rather than just doing it on the calculator so I can remember what it is I did. So taking that away, 8, 3, so this is 38 degrees. Okay. All right, that's one problem done. Put a nice little line in to separate this. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more of these, and then the others I'm just going to leave the key up for you. Okay. All right. Should we start with the angle this time since that was so easy? I'm not going to write it. I'm just going to add 90 on my calculator and 37 and subtract that from 180. So I get 53 degrees. Oh, look, so close to the other one. Okay, now I can choose if I want to use the 37 or 53. I would always, always, always use the one given to you, because if you made a little math error, then everything else will be wrong. So use the 37. Okay. GH. So let's do, I guess, tangent to find GH. So 6 is opposite the 37, and GH is adjacent. So opposite and adjacent is tangent. So tangent of 37 degrees is 6 over GH. Okay. And now I've got my variable in the denominator, so I need to divide. And remember, it's that numerator divided by the trig. So GH equals 6 divided by tangent of 37 degrees. Okay. So 6 divided by tangent of 37 degrees is 7.96. Okay. And in order to find the hypotenuse, I'm going to use the 6 still because, again, it's the number given to me. So I'm going to work using sine, because sine is opposite of my hypotenuse. So I want to use my opposite to find my hypotenuse. So sine of 37 equals opposite 6 over hypotenuse kg. I'm going to have to divide. So kg is equal to 6 over sine 37 degrees. Sine 37, typing in my calculator, 9.97. Okay. There's a bunch of ways to do this, by the way. If you choose to do something else, you are not wrong if you get the same answers. Okay. Moving forward, I'm going to do one more. Yeah, let's do 11 so that we can talk about finding those angles using inverse trig. So first things first, let's find xz. We can't use our trig functions because we don't have angles. I'm actually just going to use Pythagorean theorem. So this is our A, B, and C. So that's what, 81 plus 144 is 225. And then to undo that, remember you're going to do the square root. And so C is, I know this one, it's 15. Huh. Okay. Now we need to find an angle. Once we find one, the other one is going to be okay. So for right now, I'm going to just make this angle Z my theta. Okay. I'm going to use tangent because I like it. So tangent inverse TOA, so I need to do the inverse trig function. So tangent inverse of the opposite 9 over adjacent 12. And that will give me the measure of theta, or the measure of angle Z. Okay. So tangent inverse, remember second tangent, 9 divided by 12 is 36. So angles, you just round up to full numbers. Okay. It's always going to tell you that, except obviously I didn't put in the directions here. So that's 37 degrees. Okay. Now I can find x by adding together 90 and 37 and subtracting that from 180. Cool. All right. There's a key in the folder if you want to go ahead and look at these other two. If you need to take some notes or summarize, there's some space at the bottom. Yeah, don't forget about that timeline of things. Ooh, sorry, it just scrolled so slow. Your summative at the end of the week. Okay, those last 3 days, you will have 120 minutes to take your test. Okay? Bye.